And that was actually, we're going to hear more about this too, where, you know, even all of Nancy Pelosi's staff got exempted out of the healthcare bill.
It's such a good thing.
So a lot of this, you know, the
Then why aren't they doing it?
staff got exempted out. Getting back to Thompson, I'm 100% opposed to bringing Guantanamo Bay terrorists anywhere to American soil. And that, I think that's the bigger intent here of the liberals and progressives is, you know, let's bring them in so they have equal treatment under our laws in our judicial system when they very clearly stated they want to attack our judicial system, they want to destroy our system, our freedom, our liberty. So I'm opposed to that completely.
Well, maybe we should bring them here so they can work with your funeral direction.
Maybe. We'll see. Following up just on, so I'm opposed to that. The other thing is I'm opposed to the governor having the ability to be able to sell state property without being shackled. So I'm one of the chief co-sponsors of legislation that would require legislative action, majority, maybe super majority, but it's definitely majority support before any property over, I think it's $1 million, could be sold, state property, that it would have to come through the legislature. And that would put a stop to this as well, because there's no way we could support in the legislature. Then getting back to healthcare real quickly, I completely agree with you that it's unfair. It also is amazing to me that so many other attorneys general around the nation are suing the federal government, but ours is not. As you've seen, Lisa Madigan refuses to be part of that. But I think we've got a real opportunity there. There's never been a time in the history of our nation where the fact of just being an American, you are forced to buy something, and that is what this is doing. And so I think we'll see. I'm hopeful that we could maybe defeat this through the courts, but it's bad. It really is. It's just a slap. Huge social takeover.
Yes.
I know that 6 months is a lifetime in politics, but I'm starting to get a sense that the Republican, the broader Republican Party at the Capitol is starting to back off the repeal and replace the defund, and I'm just hoping you won't ever do that, no matter what the broader party does, because that would be a serious mistake for them to do just from a purely principle. They may not be able to repeal it this year because Obama is the president, so he could just veto it, and then you're in that situation.
Right.
But you definitely could defund it,
Yes.
and you could definitely repeal and replace it in 2012. And
Yeah.
Paul Ryan and those guys are talking about that.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that when you get elected, that you will stick to that, no matter what happens.
I will. I've signed a pledge that said I'm absolutely committed to repealing it. I do think there's things that we can do similar to tort reform, a little bit of the tort reform that we did here in Illinois, that goes after the real problem of healthcare, which I think is cost. And that gets back to your point as well, is if we can lower the cost of healthcare and of insurance, it would be accessible to so many more people. To me it makes sense we should be able to buy across state lines. Why shouldn't there be competition? Why should we only have this limited number of companies that we buy from? Right, that's exactly right. No, that's exactly right. It was Rahm Emanuel's famous quote of, you don't want to waste a good crisis. You take a crisis and you do some social engineering with it. You push the huge thing through. So I'm going to stay with it. I'm going to keep fighting and push to repeal it. There's parts that I think we do need. I'd be supportive of if people want to have their kids on for a couple of years beyond college on their insurance policy. I think that's fine. I also think there's things we could do in a very targeted way for pre-existing conditions. I talked with an insurance agent recently that said, even that's a falsehood, that he has never once, he's been in the business for 30 years, he's never once had someone denied who wanted coverage, that he was able to find some company that would give him coverage. Cost might be expensive, so then you address the cost. But it's not that there's people who are uninsurable. Everybody at some level is insured. But we just need to address how much it's going to cost. Yes?
I work in the Medicaid area and stuff at my company, and there are a lot of doctors now that are pulling away from that, and they're saying that they won't honor this. So is there a clause in there that's going to force them to do that?
I don't think there is.
So if, if
they're going to try and force them. Yeah. There's a real question. We're seeing it all over the place where more people are eligible for Medicaid, but there's less and less doctors that will actually take it. Part of it gets back to the fact that we're not paying our bills as a state, and the federal government is guilty of doing much of the same thing. And then people see all of the additional regulation and paperwork and everything else that is they're forced to fill out under these programs. I don't want to say forget it, I'm not going to do it. I don't know of anything that forces them to do it, but it wouldn't surprise me that they would push something on there. Or it becomes punitive, a bunch of doctors who won't take this